Hi, I'm Michelle.
I'm Andy.
I'm Adam.
I'm Heather. And together we are
Morning Lane People's Space.
And we are pissed off with Hackney Council, and we're going to talk about why.
Brief background.
Bit of an update.
We've been going 5 years now as a community group campaigning around the Tesco site in Hackney Central. We've been pressing the council for community voice to be heard. We thought we were getting somewhere, but there's been a major setback.
We had an email, didn't we, on Friday?
Yeah, we had an email. It was Thursday afternoon. So for people who don't know, the council bought the Tesco site years ago for £60 million of our money. And if you're interested in that, there's another video on our channel that you can look at about that. But yeah, we had an email. You got it, didn't you? Because you're a member of the amazing Hackney Central Community Panel.
The Hackney Central Community Panel, which was supposed to be a way of involving the local community, but set up by the council, controlled by the council, and in fact the members are controlled by the council, so it's not democratic. It's never functioned very well. And
can we talk about why it hasn't functioned? It's not been representative of neighbourhoods, communities nearby?
It's not represented local people.
Yeah.
It's not particularly local residents. There have been a certain number of businesses that have been invited and some community groups, some of which are very inactive. They're just an important name in the locality. That's one reason. And the second reason is that it's not been a general discussion forum. It's been a forum for the council to bring forward their suggested plans, more of an informative or even a PR forum.
And are they meeting sort of daily, weekly, monthly? I mean, are they regular? Are they dynamic?
No.
Okay.
But we should get to why we're deciding. We actually decided, we've taken a big decision, Michelle, haven't we?
Yeah. Do we want to tell them? I don't know. Yeah, to pull out of the panel because we do not feel like we've been included.
So we just had a big meeting, and that decision was made by lots of people who've been involved in MOPS over the last few years.
Yeah. And it's because they've decided to appoint an architect to design the site, and they said they're going to have community involvement. The community involvement is going to be like 3 people from this panel. We don't know who, we don't know on what basis, and they only told us on Thursday, and the applications to join this panel close on Monday, and we don't even know when the training session is or anything. It's
so you've got a weekend to do the application form.
Yeah.
Deliberately done, I think, lastminute.com, so we can't get involved, knowing that people have other commitments, they've got family, and so yeah, I think it's done deliberately.
And in the email they also mention some training, which indicates that we've got to build up our capacity to take part. We're not quite there yet, so we'll get you trained, and it's an hour-long online course. The date is sometime on the 16th of October, I think.
Yeah.
So it all feels very late in the day, very hurried, very rushed, and involving a community organisation or a forum, a panel, that doesn't even represent local neighbourhoods.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, we had this big public meeting less than 3 weeks before they sent that email, and the council had 10 minutes to speak then.
Yes.
And they forgot to mention that they were going to be appointing an architect.
I mean,
somehow.
Three weeks before, they could have given us a little bit of a teaser. They could have given us an indicator, couldn't they? They could have told us the details.
Well, they could have just told us everything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spoilers, give us the information. They didn't.
No, that would give us too much.
But from their point of view, this attempt at involving the community is their version of proper consultation. It's their version of what they call co-design, involving the local community. It's nothing of the sort. It's just PR for the council taking their own decisions without any consultation at all.
It feels like they're really wanting to involve people. It feels like civic washing or community engagement washing. They're not really wanting to listen to what people have to say. Instead, they're going through a process, and they'll make up their minds based on their criteria and led by their officers anyway. So this doesn't feel for real. It feels fake. It feels like so why should we participate in that? But what about the voice of local people? What about the needs of people in the area? That's really important.
We've been putting the case for them to listen to local people over the years. And I think if we take part any more in this panel or in this evaluation process, we will be undermining our case for them to listen. And we feel because we have leafleted, we have done surveys over the years, We probably had access to 4,000 views in the community. They've got to listen to us. We're not going to be part of their community panel, but they have got to listen to the local community.
I think they've just created a tick box system. Oh yeah, okay, we've done this, we've consulted everybody, yeah, we've got their views, so on and so forth, but they haven't really listened and involved. They've like I said, they've got a tick box system, but they're going to end up doing things the way they wanted to, the way they planned right from the start. They had an agenda, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, a really important thing to say is, like, we have consistently, like, been doing surveys and talking to people, as Adam said, and we know that people do not want to lose a big Tesco, and yet they've already asked architects to submit ideas for the site based on the idea of having a much smaller Tesco there, like a Tesco that's like more or less a third of the size of the current one. And it's like, well, how can you say that you're going to do co-design, that you're going to get an architect who's going to work with the community, if you've already decided something that most people in the community don't want, and you know don't want?
So we pull out of a flawed process and we keep going.
Yeah, we keep going to get community voice involved, but not by taking part in this, as you say, charade, right?
Definitely.
Consultation. It's a
Con. Yeah, I think they're just going to probably create a little Tesco Express. I've seen around town what it looks like. I think their idea is a little Tesco Express, but it's best to be in a bigger Tesco where, we know, you've got really, really great offers and stuff, and you get used to, you can kind of like bond with the staff. They know me so well there. It's like if I come at 9 o'clock, that's like afternoon. They used to see me at 6 o'clock with my son. And it's like, what are you doing here at that time? And nice, right. Friendly, and
big
bubbly.
supermarket.
Yeah, with this Tesco Express, it's like it's going to be a non-contact. You going to deal with machines. So I prefer what we got. I don't believe it should be shrunk. And we want it affordable and affordable properties there as well.
Oh, social housing. Sorry, yeah.
But what you've vocalised is what so many people have said outside Tesco's. So if the council are going to listen, they've got to listen to that argument, but they're absolutely ignoring it and going ahead with a smaller Tesco.
Yeah, as you said, the other thing people want is they want public housing.
Social housing.
So council housing, social housing that gets people off the waiting list. There's just no point in putting more on affordable housing in Hackney. And so we want an architect to do this, and we did think about whether we should be part of like appointing the architect. But if they're not going to do it right, if they're not going to really be democratic and really, how should it just be one of us and two other people? How is that fair? Like, there's got to get the whole community involved. Have a public meeting or have some kind of representation where the people who sit on that panel are chosen by the community, not just chosen by the council. How can the council set themselves up and say, we're going to choose who represents the community? What gives them that right? It's the community who should choose who represents the community, right?
And the irony is, you look at the language around co-design, which the council are chucking around all over the place. It's all about that. It's all about people being at the centre of processes. Communities, organisations, schools, all kinds of people involved in civil society. And they're at the heart of the process. They co-design.
People who've been here a long time, if they go ahead what I think they're going to go ahead with and not design affordable housing, you're going to lose all the people who, like my friend who's like a walking book of knowledge. People can't no longer afford to live in Hackney, they're going to move out. Those precious people, you need them. And they're going to move out, and then you're going to have different people here. It's going to be a different vibe, and it's like you want people who were originally here. Obviously if you passed away, but I mean there's still people who have been here all their lives, and they know the grounds, and that everything is just being changed without their know-how. So I firmly believe we want to keep hold of those precious people who are part of the Hackney, and keep it thriving, and affordable Tesco, affordable housing,
cheap
Tesco,
cheap
housing. Love it.